Hey friends, I'm April Fox. This is Yoga Kinda Rocks. You are about to watch our deep dark yoga practice. Some gentle hatha kind of yoga, some fairly basic stuff, maybe a little weird. I always try and just ease the body, and we will be listening to some doom metal music, so it'll be nice and heavy, nice and intense. If you like what you're watching, you should hit the subscribe button so that you see when I post more of these, which hopefully I will do so regularly. And hit that like button, comment, let me know if you know any really great doom projects that I should be checking out, because I'm always looking to beef up this playlist. And hopefully me and my pet shark squirrel will see you again real soon.
If you don't have blocks or straps and you want to grab like a stack of books or some object that's about like that yoga block size and shape, then that could be helpful. I have used a spare pair of leggings as a strap. I have used, like the belt scarf kind of thing. So anything that you might have around that you could use for that sort of stuff would be helpful. I usually sit up on a couch pillow or something to start while I'm feeling a little stiffer than I might at the end of practice. And I am feeling incredibly stiff. I did this like crazy squat workout the other day, and my legs feel like they're made of concrete. So we're gonna do lots of quad stretching, lots of hip stretching, and hopefully we'll all feel very limber and ready to keep moving through the world as we wrap up. My partner grew up Jehovah's Witness, and they don't celebrate holidays, which is like really odd to me because I like to celebrate everything. And so we have this interesting experience. We've been friends for a long time, and I'm always like, let's do the thing, celebrate the holiday. And he just kind of finds it odd. Anyway, his birthday was a few weeks ago, and I bought him the Book of Joy, which I've been doing a book club series with, and I will talk about it endlessly over the next couple of weeks. And he pointed out it was funny, I got that book for him for his birthday, and then one of the first things that he saw in the book when he opened it was that every day can be like your birthday. Every day can be this opportunity to start something new, to have this new experience, to have this rebirth, because you always have this opportunity to redirect whatever's going on. You can change your perspective. You can decide to embark on new projects and set new goals, find a clean slate of some breath and maybe meditation work to relax yourself. And if you're feeling really tight in your body in some capacity, you don't need to be stuck there. You can make it a new experience by releasing, stretching, massaging, drinking enough water. That's also helpful too in moving beyond those spaces. And I think really just the point there is that we don't have to be stuck in any which way. And we're not only able to make changes in our lives on our birthday and on the first of the year, or whatever it is that your traditions acknowledge as being a new year, that we have that opportunity all of the time, because we get to choose, and we get to decide like what that new rebirth is and what that thing is that we want to shift in our perspective to hopefully be a lot more joyful. So take your index finger and your thumb together. We're going to do some of what I call face brushing. So you take the little squishy spot at the bottom of your thumb and you bring that into the center of your forehead and brush outwards towards your temples a few times. And then going from the sides of your nose out along your cheekbones. So you brush out towards your temples. And from your temples down to your chin, along your jawline. And the sides of your nose down to your chin, along your laugh lines. Bringing your fingertips underneath and behind your ears as you massage the soft spots back there. Lift up from those bony spots behind your ears, sitting a little bit taller, and then rest your hands down into your lap. Take some long, deep breaths. Setting an intention that you might find something new, that you might start something new in this practice for yourself. Or maybe just giving yourself permission that you might find that in your practice. That's something new, something you get to start again or refresh. Taking a nice deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 ohms. On down onto your back. You can scoot your blocks and your strap and stuff off to your side. We'll use them more a little bit later. And then if you've been sitting on anything like I do, move that out of the way. And then just come on down, bring your knees into your chest. Rock yourself around. Allow different parts of your lower back to make contact into the mat. Maybe you make some circles around in your knees or shift in a way that seems interesting in your body. And then open your arms out to the sides. Let both of your knees go over towards the right and find a way that you can settle your limbs. So maybe you move those knees further away from you, or maybe they do feel good up a little bit closer. Check in with some spots in your body that you're feeling a little sticky, being the first shape that we take, and let your exhales soften those sticky spots. One more exhale. And then bring your knees back to the center, let them drop over to the other side. Take that moment to shift. Maybe you need to wiggle your shoulders. I find I often do when switching my twist. Everything doesn't always arrive into exactly the place that it feels best in when you make a transition, so you might have some small fidgets. And once you get there, once you find that spot that's like, oh, that's okay, try to soften the sticky places, try to deepen your breath, let yourself settle into that place. One more exhale. Draw your legs back to the center. You're going to go ahead and slide your legs out long. Maybe they go about as wide as your mat. Reach your arms back behind you, maybe about as wide as your mat, so you're making an X shape. No, thank you. Go play with your brother. And then you're going to put your left ankle on your right ankle. And you don't want to roll all the way over to your side. Try to keep both hips on the floor. Then you're going to take your head and your left arm over towards the right side, so you're making like a banana shape with your body. Excuse me. And ideally both hips and shoulders are at least down towards the floor. They're not really lifting up. And you can take your right hand and kind of pull gently on the left arm to find more space on that side. One more exhale. And then open the arms and the legs back out. Find that X shape again. You might notice you feel a little different from one side to the other. Why am I so sneezy? And then take your right leg over to your left leg. And your right arm and your head move over to the left so you can use your left hand to hold that right arm. And stretch it out long. This is one of those that feel like the time makes the biggest difference rather than you putting a lot of effort into it. Take 2 more deep breaths. And you're going to unwind yourself. Come back to that X shape. Take a nice big breath in. And relax as you exhale. And then slide your feet in so knees are bent, feet on the floor. And we're going to tie a little knot with the body. So take your left foot and you're going to put it kind of in between underneath the right leg. Yeah, like it makes a little tent opening. And you want to get your left knee really close to your right foot. So it's like this. And I want to get that knee down as much as possible. If you're here, try rolling over towards that left hip a little bit so you can bring that knee down. If that's still not working for you, grab a block or a blanket or a couch cushion, put it underneath that left knee so it's not up in the air and just hanging out. It's just not a great place for that joint to be. And then you're going to hold onto your left foot with your right hand and take your left arm and bring it back behind your head. And if you have more space, if you wiggle your head and your elbow over towards the right side a little bit more, you just get more stretch along that side. And this knot that we are tying ourselves in is hopefully a place that you can still breathe. Let your belly draw back. More exhale. And then we're going to unwind the left arm and unwind the left leg so we can tie the knot on the other side. So you're going to take this right leg and go ahead and put it in between the foot and the knee, and you want to get the right knee as close as you can to your left foot. And if it's up here, and we all have different knees and hips, right? So if one side is not going down, then that's the side that you put the thing under. Right, and that's just to keep your knee healthy. It's not because you're doing anything wrong. This is do the right thing for you. And then take your left hand, hold onto that right foot, put your right arm behind your head, wiggle the arm and the head a little bit more over to the left if you have space for it, and take some deep breaths as you settle into this big quad stretch. One more exhale. Unwind yourself. Untie that knot. Bring your knees back into your chest and start making some circles with your knees. I'm moving each of my knees in their own circle. And moving the knees in the other circle. And then we're going to take the knees above the hips. The shins are parallel with the ceiling, kind of. And you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them on the tops of your thighs. And we're going to build a little bit of heat by pressing the hands into the knees. And the knees are going to press back into the hands. But you're not going to move. You're just going to go deep breath in. And deep breath out. So we're creating some heat in the belly and against my better judgment in my thighs. Hello. Squirrel says you're doing a great job. This is hard. So hard he doesn't even want to do it. But you're doing great. We're going to stick with it another couple of breaths. Take a break if you need. Let's go 3 more breaths. Try to keep the depth with it. Woo! 1 more. And let it go. Oh my God. Let your knees rock side to side a few times. 1 more thing on our backs here. I promise we will get off of the floor today. Bring your right ankle to your left knee. Take your right arm between your legs and hold onto that left thigh. Rather than trying to bring the legs up really close towards your body, go ahead and relax the hips down and forward. If you're feeling like your head lifts up a lot, then go ahead and grab a block or a pillow and bring it back behind your head so that you can relax your neck. And that might let you get a more reasonable grasp on your legs, and then it becomes like a stretch that feels good in your body rather than some sort of obnoxious torture device that I've asked you to tie yourself into. I actually don't want you to tie yourself into obnoxious torture devices. Cool shapes are fun, but don't bother your body. We're here to open, to relax, to ease. One more exhale. And then release the leg, unwind them. We're just going to go to the other side. Put your left ankle on your right knee and then reach in and hold that right thigh. Try to release the hips down and forward. Coming back to your breath. Long and slow. One more exhale. And then unwind your legs, and we're going to rock ourselves up to a seat. And we're actually going to roll over all the way onto our bellies here. So come on down to your belly, let your legs extend behind you, come up to your forearms, and try to press down gently in the tops of your feet and down into your elbows. If this is becoming tense in your lower back, relax the legs. But if you can press down into those feet, a little bit more space, a little bit more openness, feeling the belly tone as it expands rather than when we were kind of contracting, pushing the hands into the legs before. Take 2 more breaths. As you exhale, lower down. Just make a pillow for your head with your hands. Rest your head. Maybe you shift your hips side to side. And we're going to create a twist that opens up the front of the shoulders. So you're going to take your left hand and you're going to extend it to the left. Take your right hand and just bring it by your right shoulder. We're going to look over to the right. Rest your head down as you roll the right leg back away from the floor. So this is just creating some opening in the front of your shoulder. You don't need to tear the shoulder off. Please don't. Just find a space that opens the left side of your chest. Stay here for 2 more deep breaths. Then rolling back to your belly, we'll go to the other side, taking your left hand and We're going to move that right arm straight out from the shoulder, so just lined up, palm facing down. Rest your head as you roll the left leg back away from the floor. And I'm just using this hand for a little bit of support. It's not really like doing a push-up or working too hard. One more long, deep inhale. Long, deep exhale. And then roll back to your belly. We're going to bring the elbows in and come back towards that Sphinx pose. And we're going to change this up a little bit. We're going to pull the right knee heel up towards your glute. And you're going to move your left hand over to your right elbow. And this is just making it maybe a little easier for me to press into that left arm as I reach back and hold the right foot with my right hand. If this is a lot for your back, please come on down here. If it's a lot to reach that foot, then you can lasso it with your strap instead. But if you can hold on, come to your elbow, press down into the pelvis and lift the heart up. It's going to get a little spicier. Maybe you kick the foot back. See how that lifted my heart a little bit more? One more exhale. Gently, slowly release that leg. Come on down. Rest your back. Wiggle the hips from side to side. And then we'll move to the other side, coming up to your elbows. That is optional. You can stay down on your chest without coming into the back bend part of it. I'm going to put the right hand by the left elbow, kick the left heel up to your butt, reach back, catch it, push down in the hips and in the right, and like don't let your heart face this way. Try to turn your heart to face as far forward as you can. Finding a place that you can breathe, where maybe you like rest a little bit, find the breath, and then start kicking the foot back, lifting that heart up. One more exhale. Gently releasing that foot, coming down onto your belly, shifting your hips from side to side. And then rolling onto one side. It doesn't matter, just pick a side where you can face towards me. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a long line on the body. So the top side and the bottom side are both going to be very long. I don't want to have my feet out in front of me where I'm getting a fold in the hips, because that's going to prevent me from having a little bit of challenge here. And it's just a little bit of a challenge because you're on the floor. You're not going to fall very far. It's fine. We're going to reach back. And remember, you can lasso the foot with the strap. It's something you can always just do that. Don't struggle with your knees. If you can grab it with your hand, you grab it with your hand. And then you might be kind of wobbly. That's okay. Notice that the knee, and I'm going to wobble. Okay, I'm going to bend the bottom knee so I can show you. Sometimes the knee goes forward, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but we end up in that place. And sometimes the knee goes up. What I want to do is I want to bring my inner thighs as close as they can be together. I'm going to bring the heel to the center of my cheek. So my knee comes down, knee against knee. This arm is just extended out. And I'm a little wobbly, so that tells me I'm a little wobbly, so maybe the other side is going to be worse. Although maybe that was my most wobbly, I don't know. Let's see if you can breathe even when you wobble. There we go. And I'm just going to turn around because I find it weird not to face you, but you can just roll over the other way. You know what we did. We'll do it on the other side. I'll lay on the bottom arm, take the top leg, reach back and catch the foot. See, sometimes the foot might come up. I want to bring it towards the center of the cheek. Sometimes the knee might cut up, but I want to bring it down towards the other knee. And then I don't want the knee to go forward. I want the hips to go forward. And pull the heel up. Okay, apparently this is my more stable side. I wobbled up. Maybe the other one you were like, why is she wobbling? And then you get to this side and you're like, oh shit. But thus be how it goes. One more exhale. Then I fall over. Okay. And then relax your leg. Roll over to your belly so you can push yourself up. We're going to go back to a child's pose. So knees might go a little wider, toes towards each other. Just stretch yourself out and lay your head down. You can bring your hands underneath your head. And if your hips are way up here and that feels better in your knees, that is all totally good. Take a couple of breaths, letting your body relax. Start lifting up. We're all going to bring the hips so that they go up above our knees. Probably walk the knees in a little bit. And do a few cat and cow. Just moving the spine, looking up as you breathe in. Round and tuck the tail as you breathe out. Moving in whatever way feels good to you. You can stay here or get creative with it. One more round. And then we're going to leave the hips above the knees and walk the hands forward until you come down to your forehead. You can leave the arms extended. Maybe you come to fingertips, or you can relax the elbows down and bring the palms together towards the back of your head. I did say or. That's just if one of those things sounds like it feels really good in your body, you do the thing that feels good. And you don't worry about the stuff that you're like, oh, that sucks. I don't want to do that. 2 more breaths. And if you had the arms bent, you release them, walk the hands in. And we're going to bring the right foot forward so that it goes outside of the right hand. And then we're going to take a couple of circles around in the hips. If this is not feeling good on your knee, I just want you to move your pelvis around a little bit so it's a little smaller twerking action. And then we're going to stop some of that movement. We're going to let the hips be still, and we're going to turn the right knee and the right toe out to the right. You have to bring your left hand further forward in order to bring your hips forward, and then take your right hand to your right thigh. Push the right foot down. Push the right hand down. Roll the right shoulder back and start turning your heart up. If you are really short in this, then you're not going to feel anything on that back thigh. So if you're not feeling anything on that back thigh, then you need to wiggle this foot forward more. And you need to bring that left hand forward more. And then try again, lifting the heart up. Rolling the right shoulder back. If you are feeling really open, you might bend the back knee and catch the back foot. It's like they're made of cement. It's like my thighs are made of cement. This is not fun. It will be funner though. I'm rewriting the story of my thighs. One more exhale. Thank you for being with me on this journey. Go ahead and release the back foot if you had it. Take your hands down. We're going to turn the right toes forward again and then wiggle that foot a little more forward. You're going to have blocks. You put blocks under your hands. I wish that I actually brought the things with me that I said we could use. So it'll just make your arms longer, and then we're going to straight-ish the front leg. Okay. Some of us live in a part of the world that is experiencing what I like to call warm hamstring season, which is summer. And some of us live in a part of the world that I like to call ew, which is like a lot of rain and cold, which is not warm hamstring season. So if you are in ew and you want to bend your knee a little bit to be kind to yourself, please do that. But if you're in warm hamstring season or you're feeling a little spicy today, try lifting your toes. And then maybe you come up to fingertips to be a little softer with yourself as you do this. We're going to start lifting the heart. Oh my goodness. And the reason I make the distinction is that when the hamstrings are warmer, they are more supple and more amenable to things like this. When your body is cold, this is not going to feel as good. It's going to feel kind of sticky and maybe kind of like stiff and hard. And so you just move slower when your body's cold. One more exhale. And then we're going to bend the knee. And then you're going to slide it back. And then we're going to go to the other side. You're going to take your left foot forward outside of your left hand. And you might, whether or not you want the blocks there is up to you. I find them to be a little easier without them at this point. Make sure your hips are forward. If your hip is above your back knee, you're not going to get the stretch here, and you're really just going to feel very stuck in this shape. So challenge yourself to bring the foot a little further forward. Make sure your right foot is in front. Oh, and then you're gonna do the circles. I forgot the circles. Okay. Or it's the twerking, or it's the big circles. I just know sometimes the knee gets a little wonky. So we're kind to our knees all of the time. Okay, now we're gonna do the twisting. So you're gonna turn the knee and the toe out to the side. See how that let my hips go more forward? The right hand goes more forward. Push down your left foot. Take the left hand to the left thigh. And then we're gonna lift the heart up and forward. Let the hips drop down, the heart goes up, the gaze goes up. Maybe, if your knee likes it, if your body likes it, if you can still breathe in it, you might reach back and catch the back foot. But I still feel plenty of thigh stretch right here. This is just extra. You don't gotta be extra all the time, although I fully support you being as extra as feels good to you. One more exhale. And then go back to the center. You're going to turn your toes forward. Probably grab some blocks if, like me, you're feeling tight and it's the season of ew. And then you're going to start to straighten your front leg. I call it straight-ish. This is one of those where it's okay if the leg doesn't get totally straight. If you can, and that feels good, it's a good thing for your knee health in order to straighten your legs and fire up those muscles, but you don't have to do that in this place, especially in this pose. It's very hard. What you might do is lift the toes if you're feeling the space for it. If you can still breathe easily, you don't feel like anything's going to snap. If you have a little bit more space, you might start lifting your heart. You might also find yourself on fingertips in order to make that heart lifting possible. One more exhale. And then bend into the knee. Go ahead and pull both knees back. One more thing on knees. You're going to take the block away from underneath your right hand, and you're going to put your right foot where that block was. So it's not wide, it's right here. And I'm going to use this block. If you can do this with your hand on the floor, that's totally fine, but you might grab a block, maybe even on its middle setting. Just a little elevation in that hand. Push the right foot down. Take your right arm up. And every time you exhale, soften your belly a little bit. If your shoulder's here and your arm's there, that's not what I'm talking about. Move your hand forward. Open the shoulder. Twist around your spine, not just throwing the arm back. One more exhale. Now you could stay here. If your shoulder's tired, you could bring your hand to your hip. Both of those are options. You can keep your knee on the floor or curl your toe under and lift that back leg. Don't let the butt go out to the right side. Pull it back. Arm is up or hand is at your hip. It's up to you. Try to look upwards, continuing that rotation. Find the breath. One more exhale. And then go ahead and bring your hand down. Gently lower that back knee. We're going to switch sides. As you pull your right knee back, bring a block under your right hand, and then bring your left foot up to where that block just was. And then we're going to take the left arm up. Open at the shoulder. The arm does not have to get to 6 o'clock. It can be more of like a 6:05 kind of thing. You push down firmly into your left foot. When you do, you might feel some outer hip stuff. It's a little heated, has some work happening. One more exhale. And
And then if the arm's getting tired, you might bring the hand to your hip. It's also going to make this transition a little easier if you do. You're going to curl the toes under and lift the back knee, or keep that back knee down. That is okay. Keep pushing down into that left foot. You don't want the butt to go out to the left. Keep the hips underneath you. If you want to lift the arm, you can. If you don't do that. Soften your belly every time you exhale. One more breath out. Then bring your left hand down gently. Lower your right knee. Pull both legs back. And then come up to stand on your knees for a moment. We're just going to shake the fingers out. Roll the wrists. Moving the hands and getting the blood pumping there. And just flop it around. Hello, right? Flop it around. Somebody's flopping around. And then you're going to bring your hands back down. And you're going to throw the dragon, and then curl your toes under, and press up to downward dog. If you hate downward dog, just walk your feet up and come to a forward fold. Put your hands on your thighs. If you can hang out in downward dog for a bit, this is going to be a real nice way to bend through the knees. And if the dog was just a little further away, you can see the calf stretching, because of course, it's like when your partner comes in while you're cooking, and then they're always standing in front of exactly the drawer that you need every time they move from the drawer that you needed the last time. Just the dog goes right under the part of the body I wanted to show you. So, one more exhale. Bring your feet to your hands and your hands to your feet. Relax the back of your neck. Bring yourself up to standing. Woo-wee. Take your arms up, big inhale. And then take your hands down at your heart. Okay. A little standing work. We're going to do some balancing. We're going to do a little flow, and we will work our way back down into the floor. First, take your feet. You're just going to roll around your ankle a few times. Try to go to where the toenail side of your foot actually comes down onto the floor. So you're not just like up here. You go all the way over that toenail side. And on the other side. So this next thing for many of us is not going to feel good on the feet for two reasons. One of them is that oftentimes we're going to put weight on that back foot, and that's terrible, don't do that. The other one is sometimes this is just an unfamiliar movement, and it's a lot of pressure on a part of the body that we don't like. So if you want to fold over the mat behind you, then you can try that. Maybe that'll be some extra squish. I'm going to stand on one foot, and I'm going to flip the other foot over onto the toenail side. And my weight is all on this front foot. There's no weight back there. I'm just resting the leg. And I'm going to go fast because I know maybe you don't like this. We're going to stand on that front foot. And you feel a little bit of that lift, right? Try to straighten the back leg if you can. Lift your inner thighs. That's going to bring your hips to face in front. And then we're going to take the arms back and interlace the fingers. If you hate that, hold your hands at your hips or grab a strap and hold it back there. We're going to lift the heart up and forward and lift the inner thighs. The hips go up and forward. Whee! One more exhale. Release the arms. Release that back foot. And we'll switch sides. You're going to stay on the other foot. We're going to flip the other foot back behind us. I'm on the toenail side of that foot, the top of the foot, not the bottom. And I push down into this foot, lift my inner thighs, and that brings hips to face forward, turns on the butt, and gets you a little bit more lifted. Take the arms back, holding hands, holding a strap, or holding your hips. Try to lift, expand, grow the body. Deep breaths. Wobbling happens. It's not about the fact that I don't wobble, it's what do I do with my wobble? Can I get not mad at myself about wobbling? Can I breathe through the wobble? One more exhale. And then release. Unwind your foot. Shake things out a bit. Okay. Next thing, we're going to take a standing quad stretch. It's a variation of, wait, did you disemboweled your dragon. So it's a variation
of dancer's pose. Dragon pose. This is not dragon pose. That's a dragon. This is dancer's pose. But it might become dancer's pose, or you might stick with this variation. This might be just a little bit more of a steady, even balance. So if you want to be near a wall to hold on to, or just have it by for moral support, that's great. We're going to reach back, and you're going to catch your foot. I'm going to show you from the front, not behind the dog, how this might work. When we go to catch the foot, that often happens. My knee is forward, I'm exaggerating, and my knee is out to the side. What I want to come to is a place where I have the knees towards each other. Something that often helps with that is to bend the supporting leg. See how my knee went back when I did that? That is often how we feel we need to be. If we bend the supporting knee a little bit, it's much easier to draw that knee down. Now, the one variation we might do is to take both hands, it's my foot that's hard to balance on, both hands to the foot, and then we're going to draw the shoulders back and lift the hips up and forward. It is still possible to lift the inner thighs even with the bottom leg bent. It's hard, but it's possible. If you can lift the inner thighs of the bottom leg a little straighter, you'll feel it a little more. And then I'm going heart forward, hips forward, heel up towards my butt. Stay here, or switch to grabbing the inside of the foot and open it up. Lift your inner thighs so you don't end up doggy on a fire hydrant, right? And when you feel like you've had enough, you're right, because I talked a hell of a lot. That was a lot of hold. And then we'll do the other side. Okay. My rule is whenever you think you've had enough, you're probably right. So you hang on to things to whatever degree is challenging, whatever degree you can breathe through, and when it sucks, and you're like, why am I still here? And maybe you just come out of it. So we're going to take and grab the foot, and then I'm going to bring it in, knee towards knee, and my hips go forward. I'm going to take both hands to the foot, hip, shoulders back, lift my, my heart and my head up. Okay. Maybe you switch to holding the inside of the foot so that you can keep that inner thigh lift. And then you open. And then relax it. Set the foot down. Shake things out. Okay, I've done two things standing and I feel like my legs are made of cement still. We're going to do an old softball grab pose. This is a Buddha squat, but we're going to do this hold with the hands on the thighs, but we're going to press the thighs open. So I'm just going to hold the thighs and press them. My toes face out, my knees face out, and I'm pushing down into the pinky toe edges of the feet. That helps to externally rotate those legs. If you can, lift the heart. Think of dropping your butt back. Hopefully the arms are helping so your thighs don't have to work quite as hard here. Let's try for 2 more breaths. One more exhale. And then stand up. And now you're going to turn the toes to face forward. If you can widen your legs more, it's going to bring you lower down towards the ground. So try to make the heels wider as the toes go forward. And then hands come down towards the floor. Yes, you can totally bend your knees with this. I'm just going to relax down. You might bring your hands over towards one of the legs so you get a little deeper into that hammy. Being kind to your body, depending on how you're feeling and what season you're in for those hamstrings. And let out an exhale. And then move over to the other side. More breaths. And come back to the center. Press into your feet. Lift yourself up. Bring the feet in underneath you. gracefully, or not. And then we're going to come to warrior one. Take your right foot forward, step your left foot back, and make sure that your feet are maybe not quite as wide as your mat, but wide. You don't want to have like both feet over on one side of the mat. So make some space, back toes face up, and then we're going to lift the arms. Your arms can be wide. You want to feel the hips going forward, the heart going up, the spine getting longer. Take 2 more breaths. And then bring your hands together, make Vira Mudra. I call them Charlie's Angels hands. And then you're going to get a little bit longer, pushing down into those feet. Take a little side bend. Your hands go over towards the right side. And we're really opening up through that left hip flexor now. Let out and exhale. And then come up. As you side bend to the left, keep pushing your right hip down. You don't want to fall over there. Come on up. And then you're going to take your arms back behind you and you're going to move forward, heart first. As soon as it becomes this, you're not going heart first anymore. So come up, pull the shoulders back, and move heart first as long as you can breathe. One more exhale. And then come up, we're going to straighten the leg. I want you to try to keep the leg straight here, and you might feel that thigh muscle firing up. We're going to keep the heart open. We're going to go heart first. Many of us are not going to get parallel with the floor. I don't think I'm going to today, but we're going to go heart first. Heart towards the front big toe. Over. I'm not parallel with the floor. This is where my hamstring says, please stop. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. We'll breathe here. Let's go 2 more breaths. Start to lift yourself up, relax your arms, bring your feet in, wiggle liberally to shake it out. We'll do the other side as the last standing step. So finding warrior one where we've got some space width between the feet. I don't have both feet on one side of the mat. I got some room between them. Take the arms up, bend the front knee maybe a little bit more. If you're here, then you need to bring that foot forward, okay? You should be able to see the top of your foot down there. And push down into your feet, reach up. Long and lifted in the spine. And bring your hands together. We'll make Vira Mudra, steeple fingers, lift up tall, tall. And then side bend to your left to start off with. Let's spend a little bit more time here. Drop that left hip down. One more exhale. And then coming up and taking a little side bend over towards the right, but you got to keep dropping that left hip down. Don't let the butt lift up. One more breath out. Then coming up, release the arms. Take them back behind you, and you're going to move forward, heart first. Once the shoulders start to go, you're going to come back up. Go heart first, and then move forward. One more exhale. And then come on up. We're going to make that front leg straight. This is going to get way more intense than the hammies. We stay in the place you can breathe. We're going to lift the heart. Heart goes forward. Oh my God. This is my tight side. Can you tell? Usually this is the more open side, but not today. Apparently I have really done that left side. Okay, 2 more breaths. One more exhale. And then come on up. Bring your feet towards each other. I lied. One more thing. Take your arms up. Make those steeple fingers. Give it a nice big lift up. Take a little side bend over to your left. Come up through the center. Inhale. Little side bend over towards your right. Come up through the center. Big inhale. Release your arms. Exhale. Forward fold. Plant your hands down. Walk your feet back. Find that downward facing dog, just noticing how the backs of your legs might feel differently now we've done all that work. And then lower your knees, coming down to child's pose. to walk your hands back in. You're going to sit over to one side, and you're going to bring your legs out into kind of this pinwheel sort of shape. So my right shin is kind of parallel to the front of my mat. My left shin is just kind of back there a little bit. And I'm going to slowly start walking myself forward, heart towards my shin, not as much heart towards my thigh. Try to go towards the shin. If that sucks there, then maybe move over a little bit, but try to go towards the shin and ankle as you can. And then take 3 more deep breaths. As you start to walk your hands back in, you're going to take this back leg and you're going to sneak it forward a little bit just to make sure that it's not behind your hip. We want to keep that knee down. We're going to walk the hands back. It's okay to lift this hip up. Now this is the leg where we feel the stretch. You might come back here. You might come to an elbow. There might be a dog or a cat that requires to be pet. I'm over here, buddy. You got to come over here to be pet. I was just over there and you weren't over there. And now you're over there and I'm back here. You come back here. Okay, 2 more breaths. He's giving me this look, but I don't understand. Why can't you just get up and pet me? And then bring both hands over to the right side. Walk yourself up. And then we're just going to switch sides. I'm going to flip over this way just because, again, it's weird not to face you. The right leg just goes back, the left shin is parallel towards the front of your mat, and then you can go forward so that you can give the dragon. Are you conquering the dragon? Yes, and conquer the dragon. This also is not dragon pose. This is generally called swan pose. I don't know why that escaped me for a moment, but squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. It's so squeak. Don't buy the toys that make the noise. Okay, we're good. One more exhale here. And then, excuse me. This shin, make sure that the knee is not behind your hip. Make sure the knee stays down, even if there's a dog in front of it hiding, although you can let the hip go up. We're going to go hands back. You might go down to 1 elbow, you might go down to 2 elbows. Some folks might lay all the way down on the floor. If I do, I get sat on, so I'll stay up here. I know. You would totally sit on me. Why are you really over there? Boop, boop. 2 more breaths. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. I got you that. And then take your right hand over to your left hand. Doggy paddle your way up. And then come down. Oh, grab a strap. And come down onto your back. I'm going to take the strap around the right foot. And then I'm going to take the hand and I'm going to wrap my right arm and my right hand up with the ends of the strap. Maybe you start with the left leg bent like me. And what I want to do, I don't have to draw the leg in towards my face. I don't have to straighten the leg. What I want to do is I want to drop. Just lick me in my ear. I want to drop the leg bone down and forward. Really get into the meat of that hamstring. You start to feel like you have more space and you want to separate the legs, sliding the left one out. It's all good. In this next one, I'd like you to keep your right hip down. You can even take your left hand there to make sure it doesn't lift up. And we're just going to move the leg across the body a little bit. You see, that wasn't a lot. It's maybe 6 inches. One more exhale. And then release your foot from the strap we're going to go to the other side. You're going to take the strap around the left foot. We're going to wrap the ends of the strap around the left knuckles. And instead of trying to draw the leg up to my face, I'm going to try to draw my hips down, pushing the thigh bone down and forward so my butt cheeks are going down into the ground as much as I have space for. Start to extend the right leg forward if that seems like you have more space and it's going to feel good in your body. You can even put your right hand at your left hip to make sure it doesn't go up, and we're just going to move that left foot over to the right about 6 or 8 inches. This should get really deep into the outer hip. Exhale. And then we'll come back. We're going to release the foot from the strap. Go ahead and set it to your side and then bend your knees. Set your feet up about mat width apart. Take your arms back. You can let them flop or hold on to your elbows. Depends how your shoulders feel. And then we're going to leave the legs separate. Both of them are going to go over towards the right side, and you feel that big opening again through the front of your left hip. One more exhale. Bring the legs up and let them go over towards the other side, long across the front of the right thigh. Soft at the right shoulder. One more exhale. And then as you bring yourself back into the center, bring your feet back to about hip width. Take your arms down by your sides. We're going to take a bridge pose. This is going to be fairly stimulating for the end of practice, I will admit. It's the last thing we'll do before Shavasana. But what I find interesting about a big heart opener is the way that it changes my energy, and then the way that you can watch your energy change when you come back down out of it. So maybe that can be something nice to observe in your body. So we're going to go wiggle the shoulders under the heart, push down into your feet, lift your hips up, and then try to wiggle the shoulders under more. If you can, hold hands with yourself. I find that's very expansive. We're going to push down into the feet, especially the big toe, and then let your heart soften and open towards your nose. Take 2 more breaths. Your shoulders soften, and your hips relax down to the floor, and watch that shift, that settling that happens. You can widen your feet and let your knees fall against each other and rest in that space, or maybe slide your legs out long for Shavasana. If you'd rather take a seated meditation or adjust at all, please do. We'll spend just a few minutes resting here together before we wrap up practice together.
As you start to come back to your body, wiggling your fingers and toes, maybe giving yourself a nice long stretch. Feeling fresh. Coming back into this new beginning of moving back into your day after your practice or through into your night after practice. Roll yourself to one side and offer yourself a moment of gratitude for making it here to your mat, sharing this time together. And coming up when you're ready, finding your own version of a comfortable seat. Seal the practice, releasing one more Om together. Big breath in. Bowing down to the love, the light, and the darkness that resides within each of our hearts. Thanks, friends. Thanks for being here.